If you believe abortion is murder, I don't know how you can believe adoption isn't the exact same thing. People will argue abortion ends a child's life in the womb, but adoption ends a child's life the moment that child is born. I was adopted as an infant, and I know some people might think I'm being disingenuous because I'm still here living and breathing today, but the person I was when I was born, the person that existed prior to adoption, was completely destroyed the second those adoption papers were signed. Pro-lifers, anti-choicers, whatever you want to call them, look at the range of outcomes a child's life could have and say, wow, what a shame it is a child wasn't able to pursue or achieve those outcomes. But adoption is basically the same thing. You're essentially putting a kid into the witness protection program, taking them away from their families, their cultures, their histories, everything they've ever known and everyone they've ever known, and expecting them to just live a completely different life as if everything is totally normal. Adopted people in the United States literally have our birth certificates sealed. You have this document that says who you are and where you come from that is put behind lock and key and replaced with a new document that says these new people are not just your parents, but the people who literally gave birth to you. The sealing and reissuing of adopted people's birth certificates is a symbolic death. You are killing the person who existed prior to adoption, a person who often had a completely different name, and reissuing a new document that tells them that they were never even adopted to begin with. Even if we're adopted as infants and we don't have conscious memory of this metaphorical death, our bodies and our brains remember. It's always been interesting to me that pro-lifers, anti-choicers live in this world of what if, because adopted people take on all of those what ifs into our lives the moment we're adopted. Anti-abortion people tend to only be curious about what a child's life would look like had they not been aborted, but adopted people have so many more questions to answer. What would my life look like had my parents stayed together? What would my life look like had my mom had the resources to raise me? What would my life look like if my mom decided to raise me without those resources? Who else in my family could have raised me? My grandparents, my cousins, someone else? Would my mom have given me up if she went to a different adoption agency, or even if she just went to the same adoption agency but went a week later? What would my life look like if I was adopted by different people? All these questions we ask just because our original selves, the original versions of our lives, were stolen from us and destroyed. Adoption doesn't have to take these things from us. It's not necessary to seal our vital records or to destroy our connections to our families of origin for a child to grow up in a secure home. But adoption in America is a multi-billion-dollar business, and adoption agencies across the country have all decided that the best way to drum up demand for adoptable infants is to murder the people those children existed as prior to the signing of adoption papers.